How you doing? As you see, I have the lovely Latasha Bell with us tonight. We're gonna just really get into this topic. We're gonna talk about stay reserved. We were trying to think of a title for tonight and talking about everything that's going on with all the updates, of course, with Georgia going into a mall opening and so forth. And so we were just kind of talking about different things, and we thought the best thing to do was just kind of talk about staying reserved. And we'll kind of let Latasha take it from here and kind of get us onto this topic.
All right, guys. I really, thinking about everything, I know we have all kind of been in a tailspin, especially trying to follow, the updates, follow the news. Nobody knows what's going on at this point, but my advice is to kind of stay reserved, continue to maintain your budget, continue to save. Don't overspend. When you're looking at your finances, keep your finances, as reserved as you can. Don't think because different businesses are about to open that it's time to, wild out per se. Chill, let the air clear out for a minute. Don't go. I mean, there's some new Jordans out that I was looking at. I like them. I'm not gonna get them. No, And if you've been on with, with me and Ronnie, I love, or if you know me, I love to shop. But now is not.
I have not heard about Jordans in forever.
I like a couple pair of them. Not all of them. And I'm not a sneakerhead, but these particular pair, I just want them.
They try to get that stimulus money. Don't fall for it.
Yeah, well, don't do, if you put your money aside in savings, leave it there. Now is not the time to stunt for the gram or nobody else, because we don't know what's going to happen. They're opening businesses up. People are about to be more exposed, and I get it. Staying home isn't fun, but it's safe. It's safer than going out there and putting yourself or your family at risk. And what that will do is that's going to put us further in this economic downturn, because that's what we're in. We're in, what is known as a recession, and we're not out of it. We're not in the clear. We're nowhere near where we need to be as a country to make this type of decision, but the economy is backed up. So that's why they're opening these businesses again. They want these businesses to make money so that the government doesn't have to bail them out, or bail us out. You notice after the first stimulus package, okay, now everybody go back outside, but and don't fall for that. Continue to, like I said, continue to save, continue to conserve. If you found yourself where you lost your job is opening back up. Have you learned any new skills while you've been unemployed? Are there any other opportunities that are safer for you? Can you work from home? Those type of things are the things that you can evaluate. Prepare for the worst financially. I always say that because you don't know what is going to happen. Everybody, like I said, you're getting your stimulus money in. If you haven't already, save that. Save as much as you can, pay your bills. One thing I didn't touch on the last time that a friend of mine asked me about was student loans. You can also call and get your student loans deferred. That's still there. Make sure that if you're putting into your retirement, I know a lot of us own our own businesses, so we have to put money away for our retirement ourselves versus employers doing it. Now is a time where you can look at cutting back on that just a little bit to have more money in your budget, for incidentals later, because you may have to pull from that money to use it for your basic needs every day. but take it easy on yourself, guys. Know that everybody is going through things right now. The last thing you want to do is put yourself in a deficit just because you've gone out and started overspending too soon. So be reserved in that nature. What else did I want to talk about? Your budget. Look at your budget. See what has increased. I know, when people stay at home, your light bill may be more. Look at ways to cut back in your house. Like I said before, when you're going to the grocery store, before you go, see what's on sale. Make sure you know how much you're going to spend before you get there. So when you get to the register, you're not spending too much. Kids are growing. See what's on sale online. Before and these kids can wear stuff from Walmart. Ain't nothing wrong with that. They're in the house. And from what I know, Georgia and South Carolina, the kids aren't going back to school for the rest of the year. So there's no reason to go and spend a lot of money on that. Summer clothes, yeah, I get it, but be mindful of what you spend. What else do you think, Ronnie?
Well, I would say I just want to encourage people to whatever skills or whatever you've done on your quarantine to keep them in place, right? So like if you've really been working on boosting your immune system, if you started drinking warm liquids, especially if you're going outside, you need to be drinking warm liquids. So you got to be on that. That's very critical. Staying away from the cold liquids, making sure you're taking all your vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin D. We had the doctors on last Saturday talking about the vitamins. I think the discount still is on until tomorrow if you need to order vitamins. Making sure you're exercising at least 30 minutes a day. All those things help to boost your immune system. So if you're going to be outside constantly, or if you're one of the folks that are going back into the general population, you have to be aware of really protecting yourself and protecting others, because you could be a carrier and not know it, and you can infect somebody else. So I think a lot of people think more about themselves and like, oh, I'm healthy. Oh, I'm fine. I don't see any symptoms. I'm good. But this is something that you really need to think outside yourself. So it may not be that you're protecting just yourself, but you're also protecting others from you, just in case you're carrying it. That's another thing that I think a lot of people have not mentioned. So the mask helps you not to spread it to others, right? So I think that is something that we got to be conscious of. And like Latasha, she's been on here all the month of April. She'll be back next Thursday, which will be the last one for the month of April. I don't know if I'll be able to do May, just because all our schedules are like really, inundated with different stuff. Matt hasn't been able to make it, but we both got called into like special meetings last night, so we both couldn't get our schedules to come on. But I may be able to get him on tomorrow. If not, he'll be back next week. So between all the people I had on, these are all resources, guys, for you to use during this time, after this time, and so forth. Like I had therapists. I got our money guru in front of us right now, our budget guru. She knows she knows everything about money for you. So make sure you reach out to her. It is no question's a dumb question. If you don't know, ask the question. If you need help, reach out, ask for help. Don't be afraid for that either, because I know a lot of times, I am a straight shooter, so I don't say a lot because I don't know how to be not to be a straight shooter. That's just who I am. If you know me, I'm a straight shooter. A lot of times our ego and our pride get in our way in our community. A lot of times we'll show a lot of different things, but I know the numbers. I'm a data nerd analyst person. I'm constantly being asked for numbers, data, this is and the other. I know exactly what is going on in our community because the data is there. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to really take on these skills. Go back, look at these videos. They're all going to be on my YouTube channel as well. And it will be a playlist, so that way you can access them at any time. If you can't find them on Facebook, you'll easily be able to access them on my YouTube channel under Ronique M. West. So go look at them there, and make sure that you send them to your friends, the family members. Now I know that what I'm starting to notice this week is that a lot of people that I know are starting to know people who now are getting the virus. So, it is still growing. It's still happening. It's a lot of things that are still occurring, but make sure you're protecting yourself, not only emotionally, not only physically, but also financially. That's why I have Latasha on here. So I've had somebody that can cover every area that's an expert in that area, because not one of us are not masters of everything, but all of us working collectively can help each other. And this is something that I want to see more of. I want to really be in that type of community. That's why I'm all about, like, trying to find the right country I'm gonna be in, because I just want to see where people just constantly help each other. So that's my craving right now. But I'm here, I'm helping as much as I can, want to do what we can for people. And small business owners, entrepreneurs, if you're thinking about opening, this is gonna be my message for you. Think about that you have to make sure that you are safe as possible. Keep your social distancing standards in place. Keep your practices in place for your employees, for your customers, for yourself. Make sure that you are really taking that in place, because I don't know how the insurance companies will be. I don't know how the liability is going to start coming out. I've been hearing a lot of things already regarding business owners and this and other. So guys, I'm telling you, you want to dot all your I's, cross your T's 1,000 times if you're going to open as a business owner. Now, that's just my message. Went into chamber mode a little bit. Now I'm going back into Ronique mode. That's my message to the small business owners. But these lives on my Facebook page, as I opened up just for COVID-19, and I'll be back off come May. But as I open back up for this month, I just wanted to make sure you guys could get some resources and so forth. And Latasha gave us great resources for budgeting, finance. And we just said, hey, we just want to tell everybody stay reserved. We know that a lot of Vegas and then, some areas in Georgia will be opening up, but still stay reserved, still operate, because the virus is out, so it's not going anywhere. I haven't heard a lot of people say that. So I guess I'll say it. It's out and it's among us, whatever. It's a lot of misinformation, right? It's a lot of things that are, whatever. Propaganda. We live in America. We already know that branding is king, right? But it's something out there. It's something that is affecting people. Nobody can deny that. So just take every precaution as you can. Don't be fearful. Never be fearful. That's we're not a fearful people. We are resilient people. Human beings are resilient. We have been through a lot. But be cautious, prepare, and you will be fine. I promise. Now, Latasha, what else you got to add to that? Because I feel like I just went on a rant. And maybe
No.
I don't know what I just said, but hey, hope it's good.
No, that is everything really that I was thinking in a nutshell, and that's what these lives are about, is community. A part of building wealth is your community, your resources. So, everybody is not in the same place financially. I'm still working, but I have friends and family that's not, and even those of us that are working, because we're trying to protect ourselves, our expenses they're increased. I've got to constantly try to find hand sanitizer that's more expensive. I'm having to buy masks, when I go out into the grocery store, not only because I don't want to get sick, but because I work with the public every day. Mm-hmm. I could be potentially, exposing someone else to the disease, and I not know I have it. So Ronique is very, that's very true. But stay reserved, stay cautious, don't be fearful, no, but be wise about your dealings and your movements. If you don't have to be out in this, don't. Because once this affects your life or affects your family, there is no going back. You don't get to go to the hospital and hold their hand through this. They have to go through this, or you have to go through this by yourself in a room alone, and you're not getting the best care. You'll be dealing with nurses who are tired. They're overworked and they don't want to contract this disease. So they're not going, that close to you. They're being cautious themselves, guys. And no, this isn't going away. Just because things begin to open doesn't mean it's safe. This is for the economy. This is so things will get moving monetary wise. This is a money move. This isn't a keep you safe move. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, Ronique was cautioning business owners, because if something happens to your business or in your business, you are more than likely going to be held liable for that. You know, big box businesses, like a lot of these big banks, or if you notice, not every business is opening back up. There's a reason for that. Okay? Be careful, people. Please be careful. Not all money is good money. Be careful.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I can say. I think, I know a lot of people saying a lot of things, but for me, I just wanted to contribute resources so that you can reach out when you find that you need to, like, either get therapy, you need a therapist, if you need, financial help, if you need budgeting advice, if you need advice of how the stimulus is working. We went into that deep last week. It helped a lot of people. So thank you for that. We went into that, and then as well as, the chamber's been covering a lot of different things. We're starting to hear that some of the small businesses in the area, our members are starting to get some of the loans finally. So that's good to hear. So it's been some news coming out of it too, and some good news. So it's a lot of different moving pieces. I think everything's changing week to week. But I think the title of Stay Reserved was just a great title for tonight. And just to really tell you to stay reserved, keep everything that you created or that you're doing. I know for me and my family, we're really growing our own food. We're starting that whole journey. That's not something we're ever going to stop. I said I want an outdoor and an indoor garden space, and that's what we're doing. So, whatever you have really picked up, go ahead and do that and keep it. Do not let your, it's a new way of living. This is what I will say. It's not anything, that we can't be fine with. I think the thing that I had kind of wrote on Twitter, because I don't use Facebook often at all, but I think I put down the best things or traits or characteristics to have. Let me try to remember them from memory, because I think a lot of people liked it during this time, or to really grasp onto if you don't have. Adaptability, resourcefulness, learn how to pack light and travel light. Okay, I'll say it again. Adaptability, resourcefulness, learn how to pack light and travel light. That would be my advice to you guys.
That's right. It don't take a lot to do what you need to do, but just if you stay mindful and you pay attention, I think you'll be okay. Don't believe the hype though. Be careful out here. You only get one life, so take care of it.
Right. Very important. And then watch your screen time. I guess I may still have to say that I'm not a screen time person at all. I think probably a lot of people know that. You notice I have really pulled back off social media, but I don't have to manage mine. But if you guys are a heavy screen time person and you realize that you're getting anxiety, that you're finding yourself like being on edge, if you find yourself being fearful, depressed, or something, you might need to pull back on your screen time. That thing you need to manage. I know some people are like, 25 hours a week. They make sure they're off their screen. That means your telephone, your computer, or whatever. If you haven't figured out how to get that out your day, learn how to do it. You can still build and not be on social media, people. I'm a builder. So you can still build and not be on social media every day. There's so many bots and electronic systems you can put in place that will do everything for you. There is no reason for you to be on social media every day, day in, day out. You can still build. So you need to do that so that you can, because it all starts with you. So the biggest thing I always say, I'll say this again. I know if you guys heard me talk, you've heard me say this. I travel a lot. What do they always tell you when you're on the plane? Secure your mask first and then help your neighbor. Always remember that. Secure your mask first and then help your neighbor. That is like the biggest thing I will continue to tell all of us through this as we continue to, go into everything. And then letting go of the old, because a lot of things are going to change, and it's okay. It's time for a lot of stuff to change and to let go of the old. We have to learn how to begin to let go of old way of doing things, old way of living, old way of things. That's why I said those things that I said about the characteristics: adaptability, resourcefulness, learn how to pack light and travel light. Then we're going to be key.
That's right.
I don't have anything else. You got anything else?
Pay your bills, save and invest, even if it's in yourself. That's it.
Okay.
and everything else will take care of itself.
That is true. That is true. That is true. So I enjoyed you tonight. Thank you, Latasha. As always, we got one more Thursday with her next Thursday, last Thursday of April. So she'll be back. I'm pretty sure we'll probably have a impactful probably last session, because I can just imagine what's gonna happen in this next week.
Oh my God.
So I'm pretty sure she'll have a lot to share. Yes. You know what? I did have a question, but I may put you on the spot. I was going to ask you about, is your bank handling any PPP loans, or do you know?
So yes, like I said before, I work at one of the largest banks in the nation. So we are handling a lot of PPP loans, mostly online. So a lot of the platforms, if you notice with the small business loans, they're online because they're trying to adhere to the guidelines that have been set in place. There's supposed to be more funding that has been opened up for it. So, and it's a whirlwind because so many people have applied, so many small businesses need this. Some of the applications are at a standstill because they're waiting for that influx of funding to open back up and be available. But if you have not applied, and your financial institution will allow you to, as a small business owner, my advice is to do so. Right. Because like I said, I know that this is not the only time that you'll see a need. And if you're already in line for it, once this next wave happens, you're going to be good. Because, understand this is like Ronique said, this isn't going away. What will happen is once, they start opening these businesses again, people are going to get, more cases are going to happen, and they may have to shut down again and do another stay-at-home order to try to reel in the things or the consequences from this. So be prepared. That's why I said prepare for the worst. But if you haven't put your application in, do it. It's not too late. From what I know, it is not too late. So do that now. So when more funding opens, you'll be okay.
Yes, I agree with that. I know as a chamber of members, I've been working with them, making sure they got all their applications in pretty early on. And I kept telling them, like, yes, one stimulus package happened. I think the other one just passed. I think it came across my phone, or I'm starting to get text messages or something. So, it will be, they'll keep trying to pump the economy as long as they can. And you want to make sure that your information is in the system. So I keep telling everybody, make sure it's in there. But if you haven't applied at all, and you're just like, oh, it's not going to happen. Not a true statement. I can tell you it's taken about, from the businesses I know that have received the funds, it's taken about a month before they receive it, guys. So, it's not like immediate. So that's why I keep telling you, make sure you're in there. Hopefully you applied the first go round. If you haven't did it, go ahead and apply now if you're a small business owner, entrepreneur, or whatever, so you can get your information in there. I know I kind of threw that in there, but I'm trying to I want to get kind of consensus from banks in this area too. So I'm already talking to a lot of business owners. So I also want to kind of talk to people that I know that work in the bank. So thank you.
That's right.
For letting me put you on the spot.
my advice to small business owners is have your paperwork ready. Upload the paperwork like they ask you to. Stay on top of your status. If the underwriter is asking you for something, make sure you respond and get whatever details they need, whatever paperwork they're asking you for. If you are a business that's not a sole prop and you've registered with whatever state you're in with the Secretary of State for Government with the Secretary of State, have that paperwork ready and anything else that they ask you for, because they need it. Although they're trying to do this as quick as they can, they need verification to back themselves up. You know what I'm saying? Because there's going to come a time where they're going to be asked to, back up what they've done, because people lie, unfortunately. And you have a lot of small businesses that aren't small businesses applying for these loans. So you want to make sure that you are in a place where you're doing what you need to do to handle what needs to be handled for you and yours. If you have employees, that you qualify for this. And you're a business, you qualify. Go take a look at the website. Like I said, whatever financial institution you have that you do business with, their website has the information that you need. So take a look at it.
Right. And I'm happy you brought up the paperwork. Make sure you have your paperwork in line, because the next bill definitely is going to finally push it to the CDFIs, to the micro lenders, and to the the smaller credit unions, which is going to make sure it funnels to our small business owners, which have way more lenient loans. But you need to have your paperwork in order, right? So go ahead and take the time to get it in order, so you're already there and ready for when they release the sites for you to apply for the new lending that will be coming out here soon. A lot of people have been lobbying, like at Washington and DC, to make sure that CDI, CDFIs, and the micro lenders got the 60 billion that's going to get passed. That's been working behind the scenes. So I keep telling people, it's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of things happening that people you don't have time to talk about on social media. You just don't. If you're involved, you can't even come up and say it. You just moving. You got there's a lot of things moving. There's a lot of lobbying that's happening on small businesses behalf. So people are listening, they're looking, we're pulling the data, we're seeing who's getting it, we're looking at the approvals, we're looking at how many have already went through. Trust me, it's happening. So shout out to everybody that's been working really hard, because I gotta say that, to push that through and make sure that they did not leave us out in the second round. Because that was a lot of work, guys, a lot of long nights. So shout out to everybody that did that. If nobody else tell you thank you, I'm gonna say thank you, because I know how much work it was. Just being involved, is amazing to see what we come together, what we can do powerfully. So it happened. So they really got what they asked for in this go round. So that's good to see. But get your paperwork together. Also, if you're a small business owner, make sure you understand how much you need for the next 6 months. That's another thing I haven't heard a lot of people talk about.
Get your financials.
Get your financials, even as your home. So understand for financially, what do you need for 6 months? Even if you're saying you don't have it saved or whatever, but you have to understand that number. Understanding that number is going to be critical, because if you're a small business owner and you're applying for one of the loans, et cetera, this, that, and other, you need to know what your numbers are, so you can really make sure you're getting the amount that you need to sustain. A lot of businesses are talking about consolidating, closing, et cetera, changing their processes and procedures. Do what you need to do. You have support. We're here to support you. Has a person that's in a home, taking care of a home, taking over a house, mortgage, whatever, understand your numbers. Make sure you still understand, even if you don't have the savings, what you need for 6 months. What are your basic minimum bills? I'm probably saying it wrong because I'm not a budgeter, but I budget right. But I'm probably saying that I'm not saying it technically correct. But what are your basics? Your rent, your food, your expenses that you have to pay, your utilities. So you understand those numbers. A lot of times you talk to people, I ask people, I'm like, okay, so what do you need? What is the amount? And they're like, well, I don't know. I just need this right now. No. What is your budget for the month? How much do you need to operate and make sure that you can sustain for the next 3 months or for the 6 months? You need to understand those numbers, either as a business owner or as a person in your home. I haven't heard that said a lot, so I was like, let me throw that in there too.
And that's why the first thing I always say is make sure you maintain your budget. And, we assume that people know what's in the budget. Like Ronit said, all your essential needs are in your budget, your minimum payments, your car payment, whether it's your minimum payment on your credit card, all of those are in your budget. And you list it from most important to least important. You got it. Your rent, you need a roof over your head. You need utilities, you need food. You have to have a car to drive if you're working, so you can get to work and still be able to maintain. Then you do your credit card payments. Your student loans are last, because you can call them and defer those. Not saying don't pay them, but that's a deferment, that you could potentially get. And even with a consumer, make sure your paperwork is done. Make sure your taxes are filed. I own a tax agency. I am not on social media promoting my tax business because I have a lot of clients already. I have a big clientele. But guess what? My tax season has just been extended to July 15th of this year. So if you need your taxes done, reach out to me. I don't charge a lot because I don't do it, to make money necessarily. I'm doing it, because it's something that I enjoy doing and it helps people. You know, having a skill set to do it, I decided to open a tax agency because I got tired of seeing so many people scam. Guys, I wasn't one of those tax preparers where the stimulus went into my account and not my client's account. It went into their account because I own a legitimate tax agency. You see what I'm saying? Make sure the business moves that you are making are right. Don't just do something just to do it. Make sure it's right.
I agree. So that, I mean, that was good. You know, I'm just happy that the tax extension happened on July 15th. I appreciate you, Iris.
Me too.
Did I just throw that in there? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. But yeah, I always gotta throw something in there. I gotta appreciate you. Hey, look at that.
Me too. I do say mine is the last one to get
like
done.
a wink at them, I wink at them right now. Hey. But yes, but for everybody, and I think that's the other thing. The only reason why I talked about that, because I know a lot of times what a lot of us can't do, we can't think outside of ourselves.
Right.
We can't think, we only think about our situation, and this is what I'm doing, so everybody should be able to do it. Everybody can't do what you're doing.
Right.
Everybody is not you. It's not gonna happen. It's not possible. Everybody has different situations, different type of things that they're dealing with. Even if you think a person may be, you know, single, alone, whatever, you don't know if they got to take care of their mom. You know if they got to take care of their dad. You don't know what responsibilities they have. I always laugh about that when people are like, oh, you only got this, and that. I'm like, you have no freaking clue. You know what I mean? So that's why I always say, I can't wait to see how we, you know, as we more work together and begin to think outside of ourselves so we can help each other through these things and really be able to talk on all levels. You know, like you dropped that list last week and I thought it was so good. And I said, well, you know what level you're at. So start at the level that you can based off of Latasha's list. If you need to start at step 1, then start at step 1. But if you at step 5, then start at step 5. You know, that's why I love the list, because then you can really assess and be realistic. Okay, this is where I'm at. So I got to start at step 1. Well, this is where I'm at. I'm good. So let me start at step 5. But, you know, 50% of us is here and 50% of us is there. You know, so
it's okay.
It is there.
And it is okay. You know, right. It doesn't matter to me when someone, you know, that I counsel financially, whether it's taxes, budget, business-wise, you know, I tell you to start from where you are, because you can't look at my situation and base yours off of that. And I can't look at mine and base mine off of yours. So be smart about it. And that's the thing I feel with so many people being so anxious to get out of the house. And that's why I say stay reserved, because everybody is worried about what everybody else is doing. Stay in your lane. Like, you have people that you have to protect in your family. You know, people that depend on you. If nobody else depends on you but you, hey, you got you. Please take care of yourself. You know, don't be out here doing the most for absolutely no reason. Like, live. Please live. You know, your life in the house.
Right. And I, you know, and it was so funny that you say that. I know that, like, I still go back to that whole, I think about outside yourself. Like, I'm an introvert, so I don't have to be around people, so it doesn't bother me. But I thought a lot about my extroverted friends and how they like to be out and like to be around. And this was like a really hard time for them. So yeah, they are really like having to adjust a lot more than like people who are more like, okay, I'm comfortable, I'm good. You know, I really don't need much interaction with people. But for those of us who are extroverted and stuff, it's a whole different mindset that they're going through. It's a whole different transition they're going through. So they do have that need to want to get out. Just protect yourself, right? Just understand that you still need to protect yourself because you still got family that you may be around or this, that, and the other. Just be cautious of that, you know, but I want to make sure, if anything, I encourage everybody is try to stay reserved and be able to think outside of yourself. And it's not about, oh, I'm giving away $100,000, this and other. Sometimes it's be as simple as you had a good thought about another person. Mm-hmm. That helps. Everybody can kind of discount how big and small something is. Guys, let that go.
If you see an
That's all I can say, let it go.
You know, you see an elderly person in the store and there's a canister of Lysol wipes and they're reaching for it, and you're young and you're healthy, let them get it. You know what I'm saying? Go home and put some bleach in a bottle and spray it if you need it.
Anything,
but
you know. Yeah. I love that. I love that. Like you said, let them get it. Anything, some people are about sharing everything they do. Some people don't share nothing they do. I'm one of those people, I don't share nothing. I mean helping, of course. That's I'm a helper. I'm gonna do whatever. Like you said, you see an elderly person in the store. I think that's what I've been paying attention mostly. Like, oh, let me pay for your bill right now. Let me do this. You know what I'm saying? It's just little things you could do constantly. So just do that. Think outside of yourself. That's really what I'm hoping to see more in our country. So that's what I'm gonna continue to push for. But just try to think outside yourself, stay reserved. If you do have to get out, be conscious about it. Still try to practice the social distancing orders that are still, in place. And then business owners, I can't tell you, drop cross those T's, dot those I's, understand the liability, truly document everything, especially if certain things are getting sick. I know on the chamber page, I dropped the 28 guideline that they put out for the barbers and beauty salons from the state board that is on the chamber page. So go look at that information. If you're not under the state board, I still would look at those guidelines if you're a business owner, period, because they had a lot of great guidelines in there as for businesses.
They're making us wear gloves and masks at the bank, guys. I'm not a teller, so I don't handle money a lot. But even in the offices, I have to wear it, and they've mandated that. Not the gloves, but definitely the mask. But I feel like the gloves are about to be mandated also because we got an email about it. But that's telling you something. If one of the largest banks in the nation is making their employees wear masks and gloves at the onset of talking about opening businesses back up, they're preparing for the worst, guys. We have to also have your hand sanitizer. Be careful about eating out. I told y'all that ain't even in the budget right now. We ain't supposed to be doing that.
I like my toast of Augusta, though. I'm going to tag them in this.
I love my chicken Alfredo. But, you have to be careful because, like I said, people that are they're more exposed to the public, they're more likely to expose you to this virus and not even know that they have it. So there was an employee at a large bank that got the virus in the area. There was an employee at a very well-known restaurant drive-through that got the virus. So I'm just telling you all, those of us that are on the front lines, we see more people every day. It's not necessarily that we're not sick with the virus. We just our immune system is a little bit better because we're out in the public every day. We see everybody all the time. It's 20,000 people that come into the bank every day. I don't work at a bank where they don't allow people to come in. Oh no, you can come in. As many people as they want to can come on in, and they have. So but I take my vitamins. I'm I don't eat certain meats. I'm making sure that I'm staying physically active. I'm drinking my water. You see my forehead shining, y'all.
I see that. You glowing, sis. You glowing. Yes, that's a glow, not a shine.
But my skin is glowing from all the water that I've been drinking. So take care of yourself. Take care of your bodies. Please be careful. Stay reserved. Don't go out in this mess. And if the club open back up and I see and one of y'all, I'm taking it all the way straight country, and one of y'all on this live, I ain't gonna be in there. But if I see your car, see you creeping, I'm calling you, texting you, putting you on blast, telling you to go home. Because the bars and clubs are gonna be next. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm just going to I don't even know what to say about that. But I'm gonna say I just continue to say, make sure you apply your mask first and then protect your neighbor and then really still practice the things that you learned during this time for social distancing. I know some people are just kind of like all over the place because it's just so much, just different type of information out there. And there's a lot of information, a lot of misinformation, a lot of, everything out there, which is the time for that too. But just understand that some of it's true, some of it's fake, yes, but it is something out there that is affecting people. So you have to understand that you have to take precautions, and this is a new way of living because it's not going to go anywhere. I don't know why people don't say that, but it's out there now.
It's not. This is a
Right.
virus that lives in the immune system and
Right.
it's honestly been in the US since last year.
Yeah. But so that, and I'm a realist. So, you're gonna come to my page, you're gonna talk to me, I'm always gonna keep it real with you guys.
Yeah, it's
So
not
quick recap. Tiffany's asking us for a recap of what we talked about tonight. This is more of a general conversation. Usually we're more structured, but we know it's a lot of things that are moving. I know like my hometown ain't really been affected by this. I'm from Indy, but in Georgia, we're going through a small I don't know, restrictive or opening or something. I don't know. I guess it depends on each city, and it sounds like and everything, but our governor has mandated some things to start opening Friday and then Monday and so forth. So we just kind of was like, well, we're going to just talk about stay reserved, kind of keep it free flowing. So we talked about business owners. We talked about entrepreneurs. We talked about you understanding your budget. Whether you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or you are, at home, you're taking care of your household. If you don't have a business, still, you must understand your numbers so you can understand what money you should be looking for, that you should have for at least 6 months, whether you have savings or not. You still need to understand your numbers. That is critical. As well as Latasha's been giving out financial tips the whole month of April. So I know next week is going to be good as well, but go back and watch some of our other lives because she went through lists for you to follow and so forth, so you can determine where you are on the list so you can get started. This live was just more about making sure that you stay reserved and that you continue the things or the skill sets that you picked up during this time and the things that you're kind of like alleviating from and adjusting your budget, that you continue to do that. Even though things are getting lifted, we want to make sure our community is still good. So continue to do those things.
I'll try to create a budget template for next week.
Oh, awesome.
Like
gifts. I love gifts.
Yeah, so that you can have a free budget template. And I'll put the 7 tips to my financial that I say that it will help you financially. I'll put those 7 tips in there. I live by those tips. I always pay my bills first, and then I save, and then I invest. And then I do whatever else. That's whether it's in my business or personal. Business owners, pay your bills too, okay? If you're able.
That's kind of personal. What you trying to say?
I hear a lot. I get to remember I'm in the financial industry, so I get to see these people that need help, but they've not been proactively taking care of the things that they need to take care of to be in the position to get that help. That's why I say pay whatever bills you can, because when you're going to these lenders and you're seeking help, if you've not done what you're supposed to be doing first, sometimes you won't get that help. So be mindful of that. Just take care of what you can take care of, and then go and then move from there.
Thank you so much, Latasha. Well, I think we had a good conversation tonight. We went over for sure, but I didn't want to cut it off because I thought it was really good. If anybody has any questions, drop them down in the comments. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this live if you're watching it live or if you watch it after we get off. Make sure you share out this broadcast. You may have this information down, but somebody else may need to end this information. We even talked about building your immune system, ways to keep it up, making sure if you're going to be out in the public that, you're drinking those warm liquids. That's really critical for building your immune and keeping it up. So that's really all I have. Any last thoughts, or how can people reach you, Latasha?
You can reach me on Facebook. I am tagged in the video. That's my personal page, but you can reach me there. I do have a business page on Facebook. I'm not on it a lot. TGNA Enterprise is the name of my business. Just DM me if you need any help with your taxes. Now, I do have a fee, so don't try to hit me up with 25 questions and you're not paying my consulting fee. But I have no problem answering general questions, especially about taxes. If you owe back taxes, if you haven't filed and you want to know how far you can go back, or you have questions about how to proceed because you haven't filed in a while, I can definitely help you with that. And that's businesses and personal. I do both. But yeah, just be safe. That is be reserved stay cautious. That's my message. I don't want people to go crazy.
Yes, don't go crazy. No. Okay. Well, thank you, family. Hopefully you enjoyed this live. I may be on tomorrow. We'll see. I gotta check in with Matt. Like I said, we all been kind of pulled into different special meetings and everything. So our schedules kind of got off whack this week, which I kind of knew about this time it would happen. So we definitely will be on next week though. You'll have Natalie on Monday, Matt on Wednesday, and then Latasha on Thursday. So make sure you go ahead and share out this broadcast, share out the lives. Again, you can catch all, if you missed any of the videos, they're all on my YouTube page. I think I need to open up some of them to the public. So I'll go ahead and do that tonight because I got to load some other stuff to YouTube. So I'll do that this evening. So guys, make sure you go ahead and share this broadcast. Stay safe, family. Protect your family. Protect yourself first. Remember, apply the mask first, then apply it to others. I will talk to you guys later. Be blessed.
Have a good one.